All right, guys. So like we discussed this morning, and how many persons are here? Let me be sure. So is everybody here now? Okay, let's get in. We're going to be doing this together. I would be taking your responses. I would want us to flow along so that it will make more sense like that. I know I mentioned the name. So how many of us tried to go back and look up what the thing is? If you did check it out, please let us know. Who did? Let's know. Who was able to look it up?
Deborah. Sorry,
So I
Jerry.
was able to look it up, sir.
Okay, so what did you find out? So tell us.
Well, it's actually a diverse platform. I think it's actually I think it's actually going to be a bit confusing, but thank God you're here to put us through, because I saw there were many departments, like there was IT, there was design, marketing. So I feel like the app is the platform is really more expansive than we actually thought, or than I actually thought, because I thought it was even going to be like maybe just on the tip of our fingers, just for us to look around and manage. So I was able to create an account. I looked into it. Well, I'm
Okay.
still a bit confused. I don't know where to go.
Yes, it's true. I think I mentioned it that time. It's a complex application. That's why you need guide for some of those things. Because the truth is, without guide, see, guys, let me tell you the truth about life and most of everything in life. Actually, if you don't have a guide, your journey will be too long. You could still achieve or arrive where you're going to, but your journey is going to be too long. That's the truth. And that's why we're trying to do some of these things so that will help you go faster in your journey, especially as you pursue a career in the technology space. Some of the things we suffer and you do not have to suffer them. Some of the things that took us years, like, very large number of years to attain, you should be able to attain it within a shorter space of time. That's why we're trying to do all of this, So it's actually a complex system and application, but we'll try to narrow it to the part that should concern you for the now. Then as we go forward in the future, as the need for other areas of it come up, we'll also be able to schedule time to also show you how to make use of those places and those areas. Who else looked it up? Who else was able to look it up? All right, I think no one else. Let's get in. Let's know what it is. I opened this place online so that you are looking at the people who developed it directly so that you see what they are saying about what they did. All right, so we can see from here, Jira is an agile project management tool used by teams to plan, track, release, and support world-class software with confidence. It is the single source of truth. We call that SSOT. For your entire development lifecycle, empowering autonomous teams with the context to move quickly while staying connected to greater business goals. And that's exactly what it is. It helps, teams and organizations globally. It helps teams and organizations globally to manage and track their work, especially in the area of software development, right? So every software development, standard software development organizations have some of these tools they make use of, and this happened to be one of them. There are other ones actually, but by the end of this, as you make progress, because we'll be using this, that's one of the most widely used globally. As you make use of this, you'll be understanding it and knowing what it is and how to use it, such that it could also even enter into your CV that you can make use of this tool and all that. So it's majorly there to support the development of softwares and applications. So we're going to be making use of it, and I'm going to show you example and instances of all that. Are we good?
Yes, sir.
All right. So let me.
Yes, sir, we're good.
All right, thank you. Let me get back into this part. Now look at this, for instance. This is our own. And this is an example I've just made in within few minutes. Now I am going to be showing you the parts that concern you because in here, there are different people this is meant for, a lot of persons. If we are saying a software development team, how many of us have actually worked in a software development team before? Please unmute your mic and speak to
I
me.
have. Yes, I have.
Okay. Do you guys use something like this?
Yeah, we actually use ClickUp.
Okay, use ClickUp. Okay, yes. So ClickUp happens to also be one of it. And then there are others too. There are others. There is Trello. There is like he has mentioned, there is ClickUp. There is I can't pick all the names, but these are actually the most used ones globally. Or even this one is actually like the king of them all. All right, so there are different people who are usually involved in especially software development. Of course, you know, there are designers, there are the front end, there are the back end, there are the infrastructure team, there are the DevOps guys, there are the data guys, there are the product guys. A lot are involved in the development of softwares. It's just in this part of the world that you don't, there are even a lot of rules that exist out there that do not exist in this part of the world. I hope you know. There are a lot of rules. So a lot happen, and all of them, everybody, if for instance, if this is the tool that is being used, everybody is aligned to using it and using it at different levels, using it because depending now on your job, for instance. But everybody here, and I think I should also mention that before, in the last call we had, that was after the general call, I told you guys that everybody here is actually on one group, right? All of you guys here are on one group. So you're going to be working together. You're going to be aligning together, doing a whole lot of things together. And that's why you're all here together on this call now. Now, the part that concerns you here is that, or how we'll be making use of this here is that when we finish, like I mentioned in the last call, everybody is going to have an email. We'll assign an email to you that you will be using. And it is with that email you'll be logging into whatever you want to do, right? You're going to be using that email. It is that email that we'll use to onboard you onto this tool and other tools that we will be using. So it is with that mail that will onboard you onto this tool. And when you're onboarded here, the part that concerns you is that your work is going to, remember we said there is assessment, right? There's going to be assessment as we make progress in the program. And to a very large extent, how you, all of those assessments, the summary of it, the cumulative effort you have put into the program and all that, most of those things are going to be monitored and tracked here. So that's why getting to learn and understand this and making use of it effectively is paramount, you know, to our success in this whole thing. So when you have work to do, or when there is work for you to do, now you'll be assigned the work from here. The work will be done. You know, there are lots that happen behind the scenes, which is not for you because you're not the one involved or the one doing all that. But where it comes to you is at this level. If you have already your email registered, you would see that if you have your email and already onboarded, you will always get a notification on your mail that you have been assigned a task. And we will also take it up at our own level to always inform you when you have a task, right? So we'll give it to you as a ticket. It's called ticket or issue. We'll give you the issue or the task as an issue or a ticket. Now, all this you're seeing here, that's what a ticket is. Are you seeing these guys where my cursor is going now?
Yes, sir.
How many of them are there so that we'll be flowing together?
5, sir.
Yeah, 5. Now, it means there are 5 issues here, or there are 5 tickets here, or there are 5 work to be done, 5 different kind of work to be done here. That's what it means. If you come to all of this, let me quickly run you through this, and then we open them and see, because this is actually real work that you guys will do. One of the things that we are trying to do is that we want to see that you start, as you're learning, you're practicing with real life stuff. Are you getting it? Not like you're practicing with real issues, real problems, right? Not like the challenge with the tertiary institution before now has been that sometimes you spend years learning something, and then you come out, you find out that what is obtainable in the industry of practice within that your career is an entirely different thing. Who is a witness to that? Have you seen those kind of scenarios?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so you find out that what you were taught is not like what you were taught was wrong. It was correct, but the practice, the industry practice is, a little different from what the school system has. So we want to try as much as possible to make you use real life, to practice using real life issues or solving real life problems. Do we understand that? Now, if you come to this, the part that will concern you is, actually, this place is not supposed to concern you, but it's because the work has not. If you check here, this way, look at where she.
Sorry, sir. There's something wrong with your voice.
Oh, is it breaking or something?
It was sounding muffled, but I think it's getting better now.
Oh, probably that was network. Please, whenever you feel you're not hearing me again, or maybe my screen is down or out, just let me know, right? So that we'll get this whole thing done properly. Okay, so
Yes, sir.
where you are going to most times be seeing is, you will not be seeing some of these things, depending as to when we finish all the setup, or you could as well be seeing it. But the part that should concern you is here, the board, where you see board. So it's actually on this board. That's where you will see your work. Now, on this board, if you have a work, once we give you a work to be done, or when you assign you an issue or a ticket, like I've said, to be done, now this is where you are going to find it. You will see yourself here. You will fall into one of the people here, right? You're going to fall into one of the people here. And when you fall into one of the people here, you are now going to see your own board only. That's at your end. You will see your board, and you will see that issue that was assigned to you here. It will be in, if you look at these places, there are 3 different categories here, more like 3 sections. This first one is what? To do. The second one is what?
In progress.
Yes, and then we'll have the third one done. Now, when I finish up, or when we finish up setting this thing, it might not just be these 3. There could be more. We'll have to do, we'll have in progress. I usually would have testing and all of that. And then the final one is this done. Now, so what you should do when you have such is, when you come, you click on the one that is your own, on that your own that you have seen. When you click, we are going to do all of that, but I'm trying to run you through so that you have a background knowledge to it. So when you click on your own, it opens up. And when the issue or the ticket opens up, you now look at what you have been asked to do, or the work that you expected to do. Sometimes it could be to learn XYZ thing, like I've always said. Sometimes it could be to practice so and so thing. So you look it up, you see what's the description and a whole lot of information regarding it is. If you have questions to ask, you use a comment section. There is usually a comment for each ticket. I'm going to show you that as we make progress. So you look it up from there. You ask your question. You make sure you mention whoever has assigned you, right? Then you come, once you have started working on that issue, or once you have started working, doing that assignment or that task that you were given, you move it from here to where? To in progress. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
So you move it to in progress. It stays in this column. It stays in this column that is in progress. So when it stays there, when you have finished working on it, depending on what the next column is, then you move it again to the next column. Don't put it undone. It is not your duty. It's not your job to always put ticket or issues undone. Someone else is responsible for that, because it has to be vetted, right? That work has to be vetted. Somebody have to approve that you have actually done the correct things based on the expectations and the things that are written on that issue. if you have actually done it well, more like QA, right? If you have actually done it well, so is that person that will have to move it. There are people who will take care of that. That person will have to move it to done. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's get back and practically say these things. Let me go back. I know this is the interface that you are going to be seeing. All right, so those ones I have before. Now, these 5 of them. Now, the first one is learn the use of Atlassian Jira. Now, because this has not been assigned, that's why if you look here you see the name. This is the code actually. Every ticket or every issue or every assignment you'll be given has a code, right? And that's what you're seeing here. You see 1, 2, 3, follows in that order. Then you see the name of the issue. Then you see the status. Here is the status, right? Everything is in to do here because nobody is currently working on them or it's not been assigned to anybody. Then on this part, you see whoever is working on it. So why we're seeing this blank is because it's not been assigned. If you see the change in status, they're saying unassigned because they have not been assigned. Now, if you click on, there are 3 dots here. If let's say we click on them, let's open one of these issues. So we can actually copy. We can copy the issue link. If we copy it, let me open it in this place. Of course, if it is your own, the moment you click it, you can as well open it from there because it's been assigned to you. Now, these are the details. Now, these are the details of what is in that issue or what is in that, that task for you to do. Now, if you come here, you see the description, you see task, right? You see what the task is about. Then, one thing very clearly to mention here is that you should always pay attention to what you have in the expectations. Is that okay? Because this is what will be used to judge, we'll call that acceptance criteria, right? These are the acceptance criteria that will be used to judge that work that you've done, or that assignment, or that task that you have been given. So the person who is going to vet it, or the people who are going to vet it, they are going to vet it based on these expectations, if it has met the expectations. And that work is only declared done, or that work can be moved to done only if it has met all of these criteria. So you pay attention to this to make sure that you follow up. Like this, in this case, for instance, it's about, you learning Atlassian Jira. I just have to use that simple example that we can easily relate to. So look at what the expectations is. That by the end of the day, you should have known what Jira is. You should know who uses it. You should know where it is used. How also it is used. How it is used as an assignee, because you are the assignee actually. You are the, is it you? No, you will not be the assignee. You will be the one that will be assigned to. The assignee is the person who assigned. Who is the assignee here? Sorry, I'm mixing it up. Who is the assignee? Let me use this.
The assignee is the person that the task has been assigned to.
Fine. So you are an assignee. I had to just assign this one.
Yeah, we are the assignee.
Yes. So I had to just assign this one so that I will use it to, catch that up. So the assignee is the person who the work is being assigned to. That's why I said I'm only showing you from the part of an assignee because that's the one that concerns you and that's the one you're going to be doing. So you should also learn how to use it as an assignee, which is what I've just explained. Now let's assume, for instance, I am the assignee here because I've just assigned to myself, right? Now, let's assume, for instance, and then I come into this place and I do not seem to understand what, maybe I have some clarifications to get. What do I do? Even though you could reach out to whoever it is that has assigned it to you to discuss or to find out all of those details. But it's also very important that you do what? You use the comment section and put information regarding that in the comment section. Is that taken? Once you click on this comment section, if you click here, so you can mention, you could even mention anybody. But because this is the only person here, so you mention this. Please let me look for something I will ask about here. Okay. Please clarify. Something like that. Then you mention when you save, the person gets a notification that he or she has a question, and then they can clarify or they come and put it here. The essence of it is that documentation happens. It's in Africa that we don't do documentation. We don't keep track of things. We just do things haphazardly. But if you're going to go well, this is technology career. If you're going to go far and go well in technology, a lot has to happen around documentation. Things have to, be documented and kept and referenced to. That's the essence of all of these things. Am I running too fast? Hello, guys. Am I too quick or am I too fast?
No, sir. No, sir.
Not really, sir. Not really, sir.
Okay, so that's what happens here. Now, let me run you through this place, which is also very important. Now, if you look at this place, where there are usually people who are watching this work that you're doing. So those people, you're going to find them here. But here, you are seeing only one because only one person is watching. So whichever work you're doing, people are looking. There are people who watch. Here, where you have these actions, you don't need to do much. You don't need to do anything on this one. We take care of. But this place you have to also, when I was in the columns, the 3 different columns to do, in progress, and done, I was telling you should be able to move sometimes when you try to move your ticket or your issue from one column to the other, sometimes it gives issue, From experience, we know that used to happen sometimes. So you can as well have a second option. You can come here and toggle from here, right? You see those same three columns, which are the workflow that I showed you earlier. Now you see it here is in progress, and then maybe if we start working on it, you can as well come here in case that one didn't work, right? So you see it has moved to in progress. If we go back to the board, if you go back to general board, you find out that it has left that first place to the second. So that's the way this one works. So you can use this one also to do that. Then here you look at the details. Here you see the details of the assignee, who it was assigned to. You will also be able to, when we finish the setup, you will also be able to see who has assigned it to you. You see labels. Labels can speak to the kind of issue or ticket that you're working on. There are usually 3 labels for us. When you see something like FE is front end, and DE is design, BE is back end. That's for us. Other organizations and other systems can use other different labels that aligns for them. So, but these are our own labels. That's just the instances I'm giving you now. They are usually parent and child tickets and all of that. So this could be the parent if it's a parent ticket. And now we have sprints, right? How many of us have heard of sprints before? We'll run definitely in sprints. How many of us have heard of sprints before? As a way of working in the technology space. If you know you have, please let us, you can signify or tell us about what you know about sprint. Okay, maybe nobody here. All right, so sprint means is a cycle to get a job complete or to get a job done and pushed out within the technology space, especially is a term that is used majorly in the software development industry, right? So out there, a sprint runs for a period of 2 weeks. That's actually the standard one, but you can extend it, you can keep it lower and all of that. So the expectation for a sprint is that within the space of 2 weeks, there are some deliverables, some shippables in while developing a software or an application that should have gone out, right? Also, there are a lot of deficiencies in how we do softwares and applications here. And one of the deficiencies is most times we just build once and for all. There are no CI/CD, no continuous integration, no continuous deployment, and all of that. But that's not actually how software, in very many cases, should be, except maybe they are contract softwares, where when you have finished, you have delivered. But most times, even maintenance too. Maintenance also covers around them. You will also have to be fixing bugs. You will have some minor tasks to still help out to do support and stability on the application of the software. So all of those things are handled within the space of sprints. It's in only few cases that you don't need to do sprints. Maybe when you have to do extreme programming. Sorry, am I going too deep into the things that shouldn't concern you guys so that I don't get you
No,
lost?
sir, we are still listening, sir.
No.
We are listening.
All right, so that's what a sprint is. By standard, a sprint works in 2 weeks, right? Let me give you guys some of these things I'm sharing with you. They're actually going to help you very well, even as you make progress into future, especially if you're somebody who want to go very far in this. Let me tell you guys what happened to me years ago. Very many years ago, I was to lead in one of the major automobile companies. Precisely Mercedes-Benz. That was in Berlin. And then one of the things that knocked me off was the issue of sprints, right? Every other thing was fine between me and them, but the issue I had was with sprints because they tried asking me, when they got to know I was an African, so they started asking me, I've done a couple of things with them. And so later they started asking me about sprints, how long we do sprints in Africa. And then as at that time, we used to run sprints for 4 weeks. So I told them it was 4 weeks. And that was it, That knocked me off. It actually disqualified me at the final stage. What I'm telling you now is that by standard, even though people can run sprint anyhow they want it, but the standard is 2 weeks. Do you note that now, especially when you're dealing with the whites? Do you guys understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right, I've told you now so that you don't go and make such errors. Sometimes the reason why our own or in Africa where it gets so long is that there's internet issues in Africa. There's light issues. One complaint after a whole lot. We're still trying to adopt technology. We are still at the formation level and all that. But for in the West and Europe and a couple of those other parts of the world where these things are fully taken off, within 2 weeks, 2 weeks is enough to have deliverables and shippables out within the technology sector. So estimates, original estimates, they are usually estimates. If that is set, you see it here. Then time tracking, you see all of that here. Then story points. Now let me tell you this. Story points. Hello guys. Story points.
Yes.
I used the wrong distance.
Yeah.
All right, now story points are a cumulative of the efforts you have put in. Now, there's something, have you guys heard of story pointing before?
No, sir.
Oh man, I have a lot of work to do. Okay, I'm going to be teaching you and showing you guys all of this whole thing. Story pointing, have you heard of, okay, let's leave that. Say if you don't know story pointing, you might not know what Fibonacci series are. These are all the things we use to building software systems and applications. So story point is actually that it's an estimate showing how long it will take you to complete a task. If, for instance, we have A, B, C, D person in one particular team, right? And if we want to know the efforts they have put in within a space of 1 month, we'll go and look at the story points that they've been able to knock off within that time period. So you have to also pay attention to the story points that are in your tickets. That's how we do estimations in the software industry. Sometimes you might not see the story points as numbers. Actually, the numbers are 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 12, 20, something like that. It doesn't follow, 1, 2, 3, 4. It doesn't follow like that. There are numbers. They are called the Fibonacci series. Story points run in Fibonacci series. That's for the numbers. Then if it is in letters, it runs with, they call that T-shirt sizing. So you might be seeing all of those things. They have things they mean. And of course, as we go into things deeper later, we'll let you know the meaning of those things so that you can as well attach importance to it. Now, these are versions.